if you are in doubt, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll answer your questions. Coming back to this, we know that the plane tilt is 25 degrees and azimuth is 60 degrees. With this defined, we have specified the orientation of our plant. The next thing to do is we have to specify the details of our project. To specify the details of our project, we need to recollect the system that we have designed for John, which is present here. From the system that we have designed for John, we know that it's a 99.75 kilowatt project with a 350 watt peak module, 285 number of modules, and 4 inverters of 25 kilowatts. To specify this information in PVSys, go to the Systems tab, and in the Systems tab, the first thing you need to do is enter your plant power. We already know the plant power for John is around 99.75 kilowatts. So we just go ahead and enter this in this particular section. Once you have entered the plant power, the next step is to select the PV module. In our case, we have selected Trina Solar module and a Trina Solar 350 watt peak module. To select modules, simply select Trina Solar from this drop down menu of manufacturers, and from this particular drop down menu, go ahead and select 350 watt peak module. As you can see right here, the default version of PVSys that might be available with you does not have a 350 watt peak module. In cases where you do not have the desired module in your database, the module can be added externally using PAN files. PAN files are nothing but specific PVSys specific files that your manufacturer will provide. In this case, since we do not have the 350 watt peak module, we will work with 345 watt peak module, and in the later section of this video, I'll show you how to add a module. So for now, we go ahead and select 345 watt peak module. The next step to do is go ahead and select your inverter. From our design, we know that the inverter that we had selected was Fronius inverter, Fronius Eco 25. So again, selecting Fronius from this drop down list, and from the model drop down, we select Fronius Eco 25. Once we select Fronius Eco 25, PVSys automatically prompts us to the number of inverters required, and it is specified right here. With this selection complete, we have specified the details of our project. If we want for this particular iteration, we can also specify the number of strings and the number of modules in series, which can be specified in this section. In our particular case, we had a string of 19 modules and there were 15 such strings. With these parameters specified, we have designed our project and we can move ahead with the next steps. Simply click on OK and you are ready to simulate your project. Please note, this particular iteration is for you to just understand the software flow and simulate the project. In the next iteration, we will go into details of all the aspects that we have kept out and see and discuss them in detail. But as I already mentioned, this is for you to understand the basic flow of the software and how to go about it. Just to recap, we first enter the project name, specify the project site. Once we have specified the project name and site, we go to the orientation section. In the orientation section, we need to specify the tilt and azimuth. The azimuth we find out from Google Maps. Once that is done, we can go to the Systems tab, and in the Systems tab section, we select the PV module, PV inverter, and specify the project size. Once this is done, your project is ready to be simulated, and to run your simulation, simply click on this run simulation option and your project will be simulated. Simply follow the steps, save the simulation as per the name of your choice. I'm naming it my first simulation and save it. This completes your first simulation in PVSys. Now let's have a look at PVSys report. So this is what a typical PVSys report looks like. Many of you who are already working in the solar industry might have seen this report. Although for the first time users of PVSys, this might look like a very complicated uh, report and with a lot of information, but let me tell you that it's very easy to decipher a PVSys report. Looking at the report, the first section on top specifies the project details. In our case, we have our project created for our client John. His geographical site is the Dubai Festival City and the country is United Arab Emirates. Apart from that, there is information about the latitude and longitude of the location displayed and also the time zone and altitude. One thing to note is all the information regarding the time zone and altitude is something PVSys has picked up from its internal database. Apart from that, the next section is the simulation variant. We have named this particular variant as my first simulation. But when you get more acquainted with PVSys and perform complex and more advanced simulation, you can use this simulation variant for naming your projects. For example, let's say we were doing a couple of projects, one with a Trina